Good afternoon and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Defining Virtuosity. I'm Odin Rathenham. The next Wohlfahrt study, number 23, offers us the opportunity to combine détachés with slurs or martelés, brushstrokes, etc., depending on how we practice it. I would suggest beginning with just a broad détaché. Again, for checking the left hand, you could practice whole bar slurs, focusing on left hand actions being rhythmical with a metronome. You can also practice chained bowings, slurring one note to the next, 2-note groupings, 3-note groupings, and 6 to get fluency with the fundamental actions of the left hand. With young artists, I do that a lot to really make it habit that they're very, very controlled in how they raise and lower the fingers independently of one another with a relatively quiet hand, raising the fingers elastically, dropping them firmly with a very, very, very relaxed thumb and relaxed left shoulder. So that would be sort of like putting a metronome on at a moderate tempo and feeling every lift dropped and string crossing. Etc. Once the notes are solid, I like to have them practice it with a broad détaché verse combined with the slurs. The slurs will have a slightly slower bow speed, slightly closer to the bridge, and the fingers will curl slightly to add a little bit more resistance in the string with the springs, so that it's not a stiff resistance or pressure into the string, but a sort of fluid one, in the sense that we have shock absorbers working for us. That's the idea of 4 notes separate and then 3 notes slurred, slower, all right, and that with a very broad stroke. Once the student has played it that way, there are several bowing patterns that I really like for this one. The first is to add an extra articulated 8th note after each 3-note slur, so that each 2-measure phrase, the bowing reverses, and to practice it staccatissimo with collets and slurs and hooked bowings. So we would have reverse, so that's a very, very healthy stroke to practice. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now the pattern reverses. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? It's easier with the notes than just abstract. The next way that I like to practice this is with brush strokes mixed with slurs, closer to the balancing point and at a faster tempo. Etc., etc. Very good for cleaning up string crossings with a brushstroke. And a little word of warning when we get down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the seventh line first measure. I would practice the last line of the previous measure into that to make sure that you're comfortable having your first finger independently move up a whole step while maintaining the rest of the hand in the B flat and D's and C sharp ranges, because we have one measure and then we have, and you want to make sure that that doesn't cause increased tension on the inside of the index finger, the thumb, or shoulder. When we do these little manipulations, I think I've said previously in my tutorial on the 7 actions of the left hand, that one of the important rules, some of the important rules not to break, is avoiding pressure inward against here on this side, overly squeezing this from this side against the neck, or overly squeezing up and forward the shoulder more than necessary. Obviously, if we're supporting the instrument, there are times when we have some shoulder contact and chin to collarbone contact. But the fiddle only weighs a pound, and it doesn't make sense to me that there should be anything more than some fraction of a pound counter pressure between the shoulder, chin, and collarbone at any given point in time. And the finger pressure should be lighter than that by logic, so that you're not creating a situation where you're holding on so tight here that to move the hand around, you have to squeeze the shoulder more. That seems illogical. So for these kind of passages, those kind of little jugglings of the fingers independently, horizontally, like that horizontal motion of the fingers, extension and contractions, we want to really monitor our shoulder tension, our thumb tension, the tension on the inside of the hand, because it can be done completely relaxed if it's organized. So there you have it. There are some methods for practicing Wohlfahrt study number 23. I hope this is helpful. Please subscribe and share and comment in the comment section if you have any questions. I'll be happy to try to answer them. Have a great evening.